Fragrant World? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. My name is Justin Copeland, and on this channel, Stay Fresh Productions, we talk about all things dealing with fragrances. If you have any interest in that kind of content, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, join the Fresh Squad today, enhance your freshness. You will feel it, and everyone else will smell it. We have a very, very unique review for you today. This is a fragrance concept that I personally have not seen before, or at the very least seen done quite like this, with this much elegance, this much innovation, as well as consciousness. And just to cut to the chase, from the house of Judith Leiber, who is a well-known fashion designer, we have what they call More is More for Him. Yes, take this in. Have you ever seen anything quite like this before? I gotta say, it is quite stunning. I'm gonna give you some B-roll shots so you can see it up close. Essentially, this is 3 fragrances in one. And the way that you use it is pretty dang awesome. So as you can see, we got 3 little canisters in here. They're glass. There's 1, there's 2, and then we got 1 in the back. And it's very ergonomic in the hand. Your atomizer, the sprayer, is actually on top. It's a button here on the top. And as you can see, we have these little switches around the top on the sides here, each one connected to one of the fragrances. These switches dictate whether the fragrance is active or not in terms of if you spray it, is it gonna come out? As you can see in the front, we do have 3 different nozzles, 1 for each fragrance. Along the top, we have these gemstones. When a slider is slid towards a gemstone, like so, that means it's active. When it's off the gemstone, that means it is inactive. And the same goes with the other 2. And you can keep track of them because the first fragrance, which I'll get to in a second and tell you the names, has 1 gemstone. The second one has 2 gemstones. And the third has 3 gemstones. Again, all kind of matching the aesthetic of the top here, which is cool. I'm gonna slide all of them off except for the first one. The first one's active. Got my tester strip here, and I'm gonna show you how it sprays. I don't know if you could see that, but it came out of just the side where the one is. Now, what are these fragrances, you might be asking? Again, there's 3 different ones, and each one of them is based around the idea of more. Again, the concept is called More is More. So we have more spices. That's the first one. Each one is actually its own separate composition. This is more spices. Again, a spicy nuance, but with some other things in there. There's some saffron in there, there's some lemon, there's a bit of a freshness, but it is quite sweet and spicy. It's mostly sweet and spicy with a freshness to it. The second one is called More Marine. So as per the name, a little bit more marine-like. You do have some aquatic nuances in there, but it too is also fresh and sweet. You have apple in there, you have cedar wood in there, it dries down to some patchouli and some amber, so there is some warmth to it. And the third one is actually called More Leather. That's probably my favorite one, honestly, of the 3. So obviously, as per the name, leather is the main component here. It opens fresh and spicy with lemon and pepper, but again, leather is in the heart with some lavender to keep it fresh and aromatic. But still, this one is also quite sweet. They're all fresh and sweet. And that was one thing that made me scratch my head at first, was like, why are all of these fragrances fresh and sweet in their own different ways? Again, More Spices is fresh and sweet with enhanced spices. More Marine is fresh and sweet with enhanced aquatic notes. And More Leather is fresh and sweet, but with an enhanced leathery nuance. They're not the same fragrance, don't get me wrong, but they do kind of share that through line. But what that really comes down to is how these fragrances mix, because again, they are intended to be blended, and I think that's how they function the best. You can wear them alone, that's totally fine. You can wear them one at a time, but if you want to kind of enhance the depth of each fragrance and also enhance the performance, then I definitely recommend blending them. I experimented with all combinations. There's 7 different combinations. If you can imagine, you can wear each one separately, so that's 3. You can pair each one of them up, that makes another 3. And then you can wear all 3 together, which makes 1 more, so that's 7. 7 different fragrances in one, basically. So it is actually more than 3. But I do think that they do well when they're paired up. I'm gonna tell you what my favorite combination is. But before I do that, Let's talk about the perfumers. It's pretty impressive the noses that they have associated with these fragrances. They are Jerome DiMarino and Corinne Dubreuil. I apologize if I am mispronouncing her name, but both of these perfumers are very well established and have done a lot of great fragrances for a lot of well-known brands. Corinne has done fragrances for Zaharoff, for Bentley, for Gucci. She actually did Gucci Pour Homme too. That's well loved in the community, and many more. And Jerome DiMarino, he's done fragrances for Dunhill. He's done fragrances for Amarud. In fact, he does my favorite fragrance from Amarud, which is called Lunar Vetiver. He's done stuff for Carven. He's done stuff for Kenzo. Again, the list goes on. These are well-established noses who created these fragrances. So let's talk a little bit about this combination. You can spray each one separately, but that's kind of silly. It is intended to where you can turn on more than one and you can spray them. So my favorite combination is more spices with more leather. So I'm gonna turn on number 1 and number 3. So 1 and 3 are on, 2 is off, and I'm gonna spray, and actually it's gonna come out of both of these nozzles here. So we got a little bit more out of there. And this is a sexy combination. That's good. Now, I gotta say, it does smell reminiscent to maybe some other designer fragrances you've smelled before. Things like Versace Eros, maybe Invictus Aqua from Paco Rabanne. It kind of is in that vibe. And I was thinking about why does each fragrance have these similar facets? And I was actually speaking with a representative, and she informed me that it all comes down to how they blend. You can create 3 completely different fragrance profiles that have nothing to do with each other, and they might not go well together. So it is just a safer bet to have some through line between each one, with obviously some very distinct facets among them, so when they do blend together, they kind of lock in harmony, really. It opens really nice, very fresh and spicy. You can kind of feel everything kind of lock in together. The most out of all the combinations, I truly believe that. You get the spices, you get the freshness, it's sweet, but there's a rich earthiness that is now more enhanced with these two coming together. Again, it opens up nice, but as it sits on the skin, that is where the magic happens. This one gets very sexy. It gets more leathery, it gets warm, it stays sweet, leaves a beautiful trail, and I was getting like 9+ hours of longevity with this combination. Really, all the combinations, again, your performance is gonna be enhanced. But this one was especially one of the strongest ones. It was almost a little bit smoky and mysterious on the skin. It smells great here, but it smells even better on my skin. And this is the cool thing. I mentioned that the brand has a consciousness to them in regards to this product. Each one of these vials is replaceable. You can get refills, and the way you would do it, I'm not gonna do it just now, but on the bottom, you see there's this little slot and there's a instruction. You can see it's locked. You put a coin in there, you turn it, pop this off, and you can pull any one of them out and replace it. So you're not having to go out and get an entire new unit if you run out of something. You can buy them individually. So a lot packed into a very small and innovative package here. They do have a woman's version as well, which I think came out before this. More is More for Her. I haven't smelled that one, but I've heard some really nice things about it. Same concept, but slightly different aesthetic and the colors and whatnot, and obviously different fragrances. That's really all I have to say about More is More for Him from Judith Leiber. I do recommend checking this out. We have a 10% off code for you. The code is Justin10. Use that at checkout, and that'll get you a discount on your purchase. That's gonna be valid for a limited time, so it's not gonna be there forever. So if you're interested, I would jump on it. If you've tried these fragrances, I should say, not this fragrance, but it's in one package. If you've tried More is More for Him from Judith Leiber, I would love to know your thoughts. Otherwise, I would love to know what interests you the most about this fragrance. I found it really cool. I was honestly a little skeptical at first before I got it, but once I started to use it, I'm like, this is so easy to use. There's so much versatility and variability within it, so something for everybody in there. Anyway, please subscribe, join the Fresh Squad. If you like the video, like the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.